Have you ever seen a flock of sheep pay the wolf for protection? That is the story of the Muslim leaders today. A story of shame written in the ink of cowardice on the pages of our history. For decades, while the West was sharpening its swords, building its armies, and perfecting its war machines, what were our leaders doing? They were building taller towers in the desert. They were buying faster cars. They were competing in vanity and extravagance, sleeping soundly on pillows stuffed with the wealth of the Ummah, believing the lie that their masters in the West would protect them. They sold their dignity for a phantom promise. They traded their honor for a pat on the head. They abandoned the command of Allah to rely on those who harbor a boiling hatred for us in their chests. Allah warned us. He told us in His perfect book, "O you who have believed, do not take the Jews and the Christians as allies. They are in fact allies of one another." But they did not listen. They took them as allies. They took them as protectors. They took them as their saviors. And what was the result? Look at what happened. Look at the treachery. They poured trillions, not billions, trillions of dollars into the coffers of their so-called protectors. Money that belonged to the orphans and widows of this Ummah. Money that should have built our own armies, our own factories, our own schools. They gave it all away for protection. And when the time came, when the Zionist entity, dripping with the blood of our brothers and sisters, came to attack, where were these protectors? Where were the armies they paid for? Where were the treaties they signed? They vanished. They stood aside and watched, leaving our people to be slaughtered like sacrificial lambs, just as they planned all along. They offered no protection. They offered no help. They offered only silence and complicity, for the butcher does not protect the sheep from his own knife. Imagine the foolishness. Imagine the humiliation. Imagine telling your children that you gave the family's wealth to the enemy, hoping he would be kind. This is not leadership. This is a betrayal of the trust that Allah placed upon their necks, a betrayal of the legacy of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, a betrayal of the courage of Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu, who said, "We were the most humiliated people on earth, and Allah gave us honor through Islam. If we ever seek honor through anything else, Allah will humiliate us again." And we are living in that humiliation today because we sought honor in Washington and London instead of in sujood to Allah. The path to honor is not through the corridors of the White House. The path to security is not through alliances with the enemies of Allah. The path to victory is clear, and it has not changed. Allah says, "And prepare against them whatever you are able of power and of steeds of war by which you may terrify the enemy of Allah and your enemy." He did not say, "And pay your enemies to prepare power on your behalf." He commanded the Muslims to prepare, to be strong, to be united, to be a formidable force that relies only on Him. This dunya is a house of test, not a house of comfort. They chose comfort over courage. They chose luxury over legacy. They chose the fleeting friendship of the disbeliever over the eternal promise of Allah. We, the Ummah, must await